Hi there, it's Kareem from Keeper's Nursery. Today is the 8th of November 2025 and I'm basically doing the last testing of my seedling varieties. So thanks very much for tuning in. I've got 8 seedlings here in front of me. I've covered lots of these before, but it's worth testing them as regularly as possible. Some of these I already know are hits. So in front of me we've got seedling 10, 24, 27, 68, 73, 78, 79 and 82. So 2 of these are already named. That's Primrose Pippin 82 and number 73 is Hamid's Red Pippin. So the rest are very nice ones. I haven't picked the bad ones because I mean these are the good ones. This is sort of going to be a shorter video where I just cover some of the nice ones, and I'm already late for my football match, so I need to start eating. So this is a seedling 10. 10 is quite an interesting looking apple. I wouldn't say it's spectacular, but it has I mean it's quite spotty and it's quite angular. I'd definitely say it's more in the sort of retro category of looking varieties. This is actually off, this isn't off the original tree, this is off a M26 which I've planted. It's planted for the first year. It's actually a 2-year-old tree in the cordons. I found it was actually much nicer off this tree than the original mother tree, maybe because it hasn't fruited as much, but it is quite a nice apple when you get it good. I'll see if it is actually ripe. I mean, it's what? So I said it was the 8th of November. More or less all of these are ripe now. I think Primrose Pippin can still go a little bit longer, and so can 24, but I'm not going to bother making another video after. So let's try number 10. That is very nice right now. So 10 is juicy. It has a very pleasant aromatic flavor to it, but not overpoweringly. So I think most people would be content with the flavor. If you pick it too early, it can be a bit boring. But if you leave it long enough, it is quite nice. I'd say one of its minor flaws would be the skin is quite prominent. It's not overly prominent, but I would say texture could be slightly lighter and the skin could be, again, slightly thinner. And yes, I suppose appearance-wise, some people won't say it's an absolute stunner, but I think it's very interesting looking because it is very angular and spotty. So yeah, I like seedling 10. Now this one's seedling 24. I think this is very nice. Last year they were prettier because it's not as pink this year. I've got a second one here, which has got a slight blemish to it as well. You can see it's quite spotty. Hopefully the camera picks this up. It's got a bit of everything because it's got a bit of stripes, a bit of flecks, it's got red spots, it's got a sort of corally color, and then on the base you can see in the cavity a lot of russeting, and then that russeting also sort of spreads across, so you have a bit of everything, which is what I really like about this apple. It really goes to town. I might actually cut into this one because it looks riper being slightly redder. So these were picked yesterday. I was going to make the video yesterday. I'm sorry I'm talking so quickly. I was going to make the video yesterday, but the twins are both ill right now, so I haven't really got much free time, and I'm helping out my wife. Thank you, Mr. Airplane. This is a very, very fruity apple. I would say it is similar to its parent Kids Orange Red in terms of its sort of pear drop fruity flavor. This is very, very nice. This one has gone slightly soft, being the slightly riper one. And when I say slightly soft, I mean ever so slightly soft, like a ripe Norfolk Royal Russet. I wouldn't say it's super crisp. This one's actually sweeter. Again, slightly softer as well. But yeah, very nice apple in terms of flavor, number 24. Not overly sweet either, a sort of perfumed sweetness. So this one, this is probably the only russet I've got, and I think someone is going to name this one pretty soon. So it's a russet with a lot of sort of red underneath, which is quite nice. It's sort of foxy looking in terms of it being, if you imagine like an egremont russet, that's just pure gold. This one's actually got a lot of sort of fire underneath. So this is very nice. So this is a very aromatic russet with very little acidity to it. So some russets, if you think about sort of Herefordshire russet, Merton russet as well, ripe at this time of the year, they have aroma, but they also have an acidic kick to them. This doesn't have the acidic kick. Instead of it's got a very, very fruity flavor, much like the 24. But in terms of richness of flavor, when you get this one ripe, so this one isn't guaranteed to always be as fruity, but when you get this one ripe, it has more richness and depth to the flavor because it's got slightly more, possibly more acidity than the 24. So these are very, very nice apples, and I think it's very pretty as well. I was showing this, well, showing all of these to Elizabeth Dow, the artist who did the work on Joan Morgan's apple book and pear book, and soon to be released, hopefully, hopefully Joan, cherry book. And she very much liked the look of the appearance of this apple because it is quite an interesting russet to paint. Sorry about all the aeroplanes today. It's sunny, so people with planes on a Saturday like to fly. And cool, good for them. So this one is seedling 68. The original tree of this actually died, snapped in the wind. Too much fruit on it, and I just happened to have grafted one of them as well out at, just before it had died. So it survived through a second tree. So things like the Primrose Pippin, as soon as I identified that was a good tree, I was actually quite anxious because I needed to graft the tree so that if that tree died or got ill, you know, that's the only version of it. So as soon as something's any good, I actually clone that tree multiple times so that I've got sort of backup. So imagine on your computer all your photos, you store them on the cloud, or you might have a hard copy. This is the hard copy because the real one died, so it's quite interesting. So it actually took I didn't try this for a few years, and I will be honest, it wasn't a particularly remarkable looking apple. This is again off a young tree like this one. So this is in its first year of fruiting. I do remember that the crown was quite an interesting, because of the photos I'd seen, the crown was quite interesting, especially with this sort of how the red has come through. I mean, it does look quite prominent right there. But yeah, I just happened to try one of these, and it's very nice, very similar. So this will be a Riker seedling, very similar to seedling 82, to Primrose Pippin, in terms of the texture and the richness of the juice. That is astoundingly nice to eat. It is. I will compare it in a minute to the Primrose Pippin. It's juicy and sweet and crisp, but it sort of carries through. It's not a very sort of. It's almost got more juice in it than it should have, which is very nice. I would say I need to test this again next year as well, because I've not tried this for a few years. But I'm very, very pleased with this apple so far, and I'll test this again in comparison with the others. So 73, Hamid's Red Pippin. This is still on the tree. Weirdly, Bethan is still on the tree as well. It shouldn't be. This is overripe at this stage. Very, still very attractive looking. I think it is still quite, it is still crisp. Wow. Now, I don't know how much this will have affected the flavour. This is from the original tree, which overfruited again this year. So the fruit's weaker tasting off this tree anyway. That's still pretty good. It has become slightly watered down in terms of flavour, but you expect that of, an apple that you're supposed to pick in September. So sort of mid-September. This is over a month past its picking time that I had assumed. Definitely early October, this is when you should pick it. So this is a month late. It's still crisp. It's still completely crisp. The flavour has diminished. It hasn't, to be honest, it hasn't been cold here. I'm not wearing much today, but the last few days, honestly, have been 16 degrees in the shade, as in it's just been cloudy or overcast all day. Last night was clear, so it did actually get a bit colder, but we are lacking the cold weather. It was literally, it would have probably been close to 20 degrees at the end of October, which Yeah, at the start of November, so for bonfire night, which is not that unusual. To be fair, my child was born end of October 7 years ago, and I remember sitting out in the sun sunbathing on that day. So, yeah, Kent's nice. Kent should be a resort place. Six Seedling 78. Sorry, that was 68. Seedling 78 is a bit of a looker. It's fruited quite a lot this year. This is one of the larger fruits on the main tree, so it should be nicer in terms of flavour. You can tell it is quite crisp. Historically, I've not been... I mean, I've said that this one's pretty good. I've not said this one's exceptional for any reason. I'd like to sort of try it again now to see what it's like. But so far, it looks quite stunning, actually. It's a Riker seedling. That is nice. It's got nice flavour. It's slightly more acidic than I like, but it's very much just like a very high quality commercial apple, new variety. On the slightly more acidic end of the spectrum, I would say the flavour doesn't carry all the way through either. But other than that, very nice looking apple. Probably stores quite well. Don't know what that bird was. Yeah, I mean, it looks good. I mean, this is quite promising. I would say it's not my favorite, but I'm sure some people would actually like this one more because it is acidic. This is the one I'm excited about trying. That is a very interesting deep eye it has. So this is seedling 79. I took some of these to Elizabeth Dowell as well. These have got... I tried this a few years ago and it was very nice. Last year, I don't think the tree maybe only had one fruit on. This year it's had a few. Quite an attractive apple, I'd say. It does get redder than this. This one has got slightly more russet as well, which is interesting. But yeah, it's a very attractive looking thing. And as I recall, it was quite a nice apple to eat as well. So it's, again, a Riker seedling. I have actually propagated more of these trees. I was possibly going to name it and sell it this year, but I wanted to try it again. So I've got some trees in stock that I will hold on to or give away. I don't know, but I can't really sell it until I name it, and the naming thing, basically next year, this will be for sale. So 79 will be for sale, but let's taste it. I haven't tasted it yet this year. Oh, it's really nice. That is... In terms of aromatic, this has way more flavour than some... I mean, the Hamid's Red is kind of gone now anyway, but doesn't have the depth of flavour as this. This is more like something like a Rubinet in terms of the overall acidic sweet flavour. Its richness, it comes through. It's juicy, it's crisp. This will be a big apple, number 79, in terms of... I will push this one. I will try... I mean, it looks very nice, but I will try and get people on board with this. Yeah, that's really nice. Not quite up there with a Carmine, but it's up there with the sort of Rubinet Carmine in terms of flavour. But yeah, I mean, it looks really good. I think the trees look quite healthy as well, the young trees that I've got. Yeah, this might be really good. So seedling 79, I'll come up with a name. I've got plenty of kids I need to name stuff after, so one of them, whoever's best behaved this Christmas. Or my mum. I'll let her try it now because she's helping to look after the kids today. If she likes that, she's very picky about the skin being... I don't know if anyone's got mums who are very picky about... They just shoot you down with their comments, but very picky about the skin being too thick on apples. And I just think, really? Like... I don't understand it, but she actually, yeah, faults things like that. Nice long stalk on this. So this is Primrose Pippin. I would say Primrose Pippin still needs another week to ripen. So if you want a really good late season apple, this is it. I do give these away to people. I gave one to the postman yesterday because sadly he's not going to be our postman. Well, he hasn't been our postman, but he's our favourite postman. Sorry to the other postman if you happen to watch this, but yeah, Darren, I like Darren. He's a Liverpool fan, so we talk about stuff. But yeah, he tried one the other day. He really liked it. Obviously, I give this to everyone and they really like it, but maybe they're just being really nice to me. I do notice people are buying this probably because they watch this type of junk on the internet instead of reading real books. But no, obviously there's nothing wrong with watching this. But yeah, people are actually buying this having never tried it, which I think is quite nice. I can't imagine everyone's got a primrose in their family, but yeah, thanks very much if you have bought this variety already, because there are still probably 20-30 trees in stock, I reckon. But yeah, if you've bought one already and you have faith in me and my videos, this isn't a scam, this is actually a really good apple. You haven't fooled them for anything. I genuinely think this one is nicer than it pretty much anything right now, which is hard to, okay fine, like Ashmead's Kernel and Carmine and Rubinet and Rubinola and Freiburg, they're all really nice apples. Norfolk Raw Russet, they're all really good apples, but this one is in there with them. And in some ways this one's better, in some ways those ones are more interesting and better, but you know, you can also like all of them. It's completely fine. This isn't like tribal football culture where you support, you know, the blue half of your town or the red half of your town. You can support all the teams, apart from, you know, Granny Smith and a few other naff things. But yeah, we don't support them. But yeah, let's try Primrose Pippin again. Oh, that sound, let me do that right up to the camera. Yeah, you know that's crispy. That's like cutting into celery. So that is, I don't know, I was almost going to buy a microscope, as in, you know, on eBay when you put in make an offer and you completely lowball the seller, because, you know, if you put the make the offer thing on there, you're sort of asking for it, and you chuck in a lowball offer of sort of like £100 off for like a really nice microscope. Because I mean, a second-hand microscope, come on, who's going to buy that? But then they reject it. That's how close I was to buying a microscope. I think I still have the tab somewhere on my phone that I was looking at a microscope. But I'd love to see the cell structure of this, because this is, I think I can even see them. I mean, my eyesight's pretty good, but yeah, I mean, like, this is a very nice crunch. It's juicy, but it's light. So that, I do not like jazz. I do not like the crisp, dense things. I like the light things. It sort of explodes and then melts in your mouth, and you get a lot of juice. Like I was saying about the 68. Oh. Sorry, my tooth just come there weird. This one again. So this is just a way better version of 68. Yeah, that's just way better. So let me compare 79 with that. 79 is beating it for richness and acidity. So 79 is more like the Rubinet, and it punches through. So yeah, this one is very nice. So I don't really have time to go through anymore because I'm actually late for football. So seedling 10, very good. I really like the ones of this tree. Let me just try it compared to that one. It does lack sweetness compared to the last few, but in terms of flavor, it's very nice. I sent some of these to people like Nigel Deacon. I think he liked this one more than 82. I mean, people are different. Like I respect that everyone's got their own preferences, but I go for sort of sweeter things, which, you know, it's fine. You guys be different. These ones are sweet. So I do have to say, this one, someone called Chris Paveley Penny, I think it's going to be named, I can't remember what they were going to call it, maybe Paveley Pippin. Chris is a long-time customer, so I think this will be his russet. This will be my mother-in-law's apple, 24. No name. Hamid's Red Pippin, overripe. 78, good-looking apple. It'll be somewhere. 79 will be available next year. It should have been available this year if I got my act together, but I just wanted to try it again. I'm going to let my mum try that. Maybe this will be called the mum apple, or give it to my wife again. She can have two, or one of the kids if one of them likes them. But they all like soft apples, and twins can't talk, so... And then 82, Primrose Pippin's really good. Anyway, thank you very, very much for watching. I have to go play football. We'll probably lose again, but come on, West Farley. Bye.